elections are nothing more than a carefully crafted illusion designed to make us believe we have control. The truth, we don't. The entire process is a con, and here are 7 reasons why. 1. The so-called choices are handpicked by the elite, ensuring no real change ever comes from the ballot box. 2. Politicians answer to the corporations and lobbyists who fund them, not to the people they claim to represent. 3. Mainstream media controls the narrative, shaping public opinion to favor the establishment's chosen candidates. 4. Campaign promises are lies, strategically forgotten the moment the election is over. 5. Whether left or right, both parties serve the same agenda, perpetuating the status quo and crushing dissent. 6. From gerrymandering to voter suppression, the system is rigged to ensure those in power stay in power. 7. Elections distract the masses from systemic problems that can't be solved by voting in a corrupt system.
I wanted to get that out first because when we talk about Trump, it's like Trump's going to come in and destabilize something. America's not run by the managers. Let's get that clear. Presidents are managers with management styles. Trump doesn't have any power as the president. If he steps out of line, the managers will do to him what they did to John Kennedy, Abraham Lincoln, Garfield, and Harrison, and the other presidents. America has assassinated more of its president than any other country in the Western Hemisphere. Were you aware of that? Most people aren't. Arthur, Harrison, Garfield, Kennedy, Kennedy's brother who would have been president, Abraham Lincoln. 5 to 7, I think, of them was assassinated. No other nation in modern times in the Western world have ever assassinated. No 2 nations has ever assassinated that many of their presidents. Yet we don't talk about it, right? And if the Biden step out of line, his bosses will eliminate him as easily as the same bosses eliminated Kennedy. It was the government of the United States that killed President Kennedy. Just like the government killed Malcolm X and the government killed Martin Luther King and multiple others that weren't as famous as they were. So these managers, Trump problem isn't what he will do with the government, because who sits on his cabinet, that won't be decided by him. That will be decided by some right-wing think tank. Like under Obama, you had everything that he did was a platform given to him by the Heritage Society. See, in different ones of these right-wing think tanks, they hire these managers. We vote the managers in for them to give some false legitimacy of democracy. But there's no democracy here, because the people who give them the agenda to be carried is the 1% of the 1%.
Hope you got that very guys. I personally think that if all of these better governments take our rights away, they can have a potential war for the next 4 years. So, hope you got that very guys. I personally think that if all of these better governments take our rights away, they can have a potential war for the next 4 years. So, hope you got that very guys. I personally think that if all of these better governments take our rights away, they can have a...
This is Psalms 82 and 5. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. Kahala Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai B'Shem Ruach HaKodesh, which are the true Hebrew names of the Most High Father, which is Yahweh, which is Hebrew for He is, and Yahweh Shai, which is Hebrew for He is salvation, and the true Hebrew name of the Messiah, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Double honors my teachers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the elect, who are the house of David reborn again in this generation. And shalom to the 130 Yasharallah, who today were known as the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who before losing our heritage, we were known as, and still are, the true Hebrew Israelites of the Holy Bible. And today's lesson, we're going to talk about how though Trump won, it really was the Israelites who lost. Now, in the 2 videos we just watched, there were some facts spoken that showed how it's not the president that runs things or that can make any meaningful changes. It's really the people above them. In this case, we're going to go ahead and go into who actually Trump is working for. So this is kind of a long video, Hakim. It's about 9 minutes long, but I want you to see this because it's very important to understand who Trump is working for. Because again, a lot of people think that Trump's going to rebel against the elites and he's going to make America great again and all this stuff, right? They've set Trump up just like they set Hitler up during the German Weimar Republic. Okay, they created the problems in Germany, Weimar, and they then offered their solution, which was Hitler and the bringing in of that fascist system. Okay, they're going to do the exact same thing here in America, right? They created the problem, and now they're bringing in their solution, their guy. Let's watch this.
So these awards are given to me by the Jewish community for different things, and this is the Tree of Life, which is a very big award in terms of everything that I stand for. It means so much to me, and a lot of times I'll have friends of mine come in, Jewish, and they will see the Tree of Life and they'll say, wow, what a great thing. Likewise, right over here, this is the Shalom Humanitarian Award, and that was presented to me also. We must never ignore the vile poison of anti-Semitism or those who spread its venomous creed. With one voice, we must confront this hatred anywhere and everywhere it occurs. The scourge of anti-Semitism cannot be ignored, cannot be tolerated, and it cannot be allowed to continue. We can't allow it to continue. It must be confronted and condemned everywhere it rears its very ugly head. We must stand with our Jewish brothers and sisters to defeat anti-Semitism and vanquish the forces of hate. That's what it is. Through the centuries, the Jews have endured terrible persecution, and you know that. We've all read it, we've studied it. They've gone through a lot. And those seeking their destruction, we will seek their destruction. With one heart, America weeps for the lives lost. With one voice, we vow to crush the monstrous evil of anti-Semitism whenever and wherever it appears. And we're working very hard on that. And I can tell you that we have a lot of people in government working very, very hard on that. But today we're taking another historic action. In just a few moments, I'll sign an executive order to combat anti-Semitism. This action makes clear that Title VI of the Civil Rights Act, which prohibits the federal funding of universities and other institutions that engage in discrimination, applies to institutions that traffic in anti-Semitic hate. So this is a very powerful document that we're signing today. And together, all of us, we're going to eradicate the sinister scourge of anti-Semitism. And we will protect Jewish communities and all members of the Jewish faith from the wicked forces of hatred and violence. And you know that, and the love by evangelicals, Christians, for Jewish people and for Israel is incredible. It's incredible. We will not rest until the horrible and vile ideology of anti-Semitism has been defeated and destroyed. For this reason, I recently signed an executive order to restrict federal funding to any college or university that spreads, supports, or promotes anti-Semitic prejudice in any form.
Well, you know, the biggest change I've seen in Congress is Israel literally owned Congress. You understand that 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And it was so powerful. It was so powerful. And today it's almost the opposite. You have between AOC and Omar and these people that hate Israel. They hate it with a passion. They're controlling Congress, and Israel is not a force in Congress anymore. It's just amazing. I've never seen such a change. And we're not talking about over a very long period of time. But I think you know exactly what I'm saying. They had such power. Israel had such power, and rightfully, over Congress, and now it doesn't. It's incredible, actually.
Sure, I would love that. This was a special token of affection given by myself and the First Lady to Prime Minister and the First Lady of Israel, and it's a key. We call it a key to the White House, and it's a key to our country and to our hearts. And you've been an amazing leader for a long period of time, and this is in many respects the big day, because this is something that's very special. And we just left UAE and Bahrain. We're going to meet outside in a ceremony, and it's just a very important event, and it's an honor to have you with us, baby. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I have said, and this is true, that you have the key to the hearts of the people of Israel because of all the great things you've done for the Jewish state and the Jewish people. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Fantastic.
You have been the greatest friend that Israel has ever had in the White House.
So I went to the Jewish deli, and of course we had the discussion on Trump. You asked, and I asked them, who is Trump to you? And you know what they said? Trump is our new Messiah, actually. They want to believe that Trump is the Messiah. What I think is happening here is God using Donald Trump to hasten the coming of the Lord. This is really what is happening here. And we need to be stay tuned, because he's lining up with Israel right now in a major way.
What the Baruch has allowed, as I've mentioned many times, he has taken a figure, Trump, right? And he's allowed him to be, right, a messianic figure. As I mentioned, it's the Mashiach of Edom. It's a messianic figure, you see, and true to the whatever, you know, the description, he's been doing incredible stuff for the Jewish people. Really incredible stuff. In fact, Trump just recently said he went to some type of, dinner or whatever, and he said, maybe because what's happening in Israel is incredible. They can't put a coalition together, which, hopefully that's the end of the era of Rav. But anyway, he said himself, maybe I should run for prime minister. Yeah, everybody, Israel, 98% of the population loves the guy, you see? So he said, maybe I should run for prime minister. It's quite interesting. Maybe he should. Anyway, not a bad idea. But anyway.
He calls himself the King of Israel.
Who?
Trump.
He calls me the King of Israel, yeah. Yeah.
Don't forget, I don't know if you haven't watched the show, I happen to be Jewish by birth, and 75% of all Jews vote Democrat, and they don't like Trump. And this is the greatest president for Jews and for Israel in the history of the world, not just America. Trump's the best president for Israel in the history of the world, and the Jewish people love him like he is the King of Israel. They love him like he is the second coming of God.
I am the chosen one. Chosen one. Chosen one. I am the chosen one. Chosen one. Chosen one.
Perhaps it is no accident that the numeric value of Donald Trump in Hebrew is the same as Messiah, son of David, Mashiach ben David, 424. Trump was designated as God's servant and anointed one, just like Cyrus the Great almost 2,400 years ago.
Bottom line, Trump is a godsend, an imperfect messenger of God, but nevertheless, a King David of our time.
The prophecies of Mark Taylor, who in 2011 was documented in 2012 in major Christian magazines predicting that Donald J. Trump would become the 45th president of the United States and that it would signal a major global revival. Now, I've talked to so many great pastors that I really respect, like Rodney Howard-Browne and others, and they've talked about this fact. And now that you see Trump delivering on the mass arrest of pedophiles worldwide, delivering on the return of our republic, standing up for Christian rights, It is unprecedented. You have the Pope, who's not a real Catholic, but a Jesuit globalist, openly calling for the end of Christianity, open borders to Islam, not defending Christians being slaughtered all over Africa and the Middle East. This is biblical time.
What time is it? Almost six?
This is Matthew 24 and 24. For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that, if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Now, the Messiah let us know that in the end times, that we were going to see people like Trump being touted as the new Messiah, right? You heard people talking about Trump's the Jewish Messiah, but then that Edomite rabbi said he's a messianic figure for Edom, right? Because, you know, a lot of people don't realize this, but the so-called Jewish people, right, the Amalekites, the top tribe of Edom, right, they believe that the American Caucasians are the nation of Edom. They pretend to not know that they also are Edom themselves. Okay, some of them have really deluded themselves and actually think that they are the chosen people, but they're not. They don't fulfill the prophecy of the Israelites. They fulfill the prophecy of the Edomites. Just read Ezekiel 36 and 5, talking about how Edom would be in possession of the Holy Land when the Messiah comes back. Okay, and like it tells you here, the Messiah told us that this deception was going to be so large and so deep that if it was possible, that even the elect would be deceived. And again, you have to go very deep and do a good amount of research to find out that Trump is not for the American people. Though he pretends to be for it, he's married off all his children to Jewish people. He supposedly converted to Judaism in 2020, which is why he's doing all these things for the Israeli people, right? And ultimately, he's going to be used to usher in the New World Order. Okay, he's going to do the same thing that Hitler did for the Weimar Republic. Trump's going to do for the American Republic, right? We're going to see a small spike of economic bliss, right? A lot of prosperity happening for a little bit, but then what's going to eventually happen is that the economy, if it doesn't happen right away, it's going to more likely happen in June when the government has to report its taxes that it's collected, and that's going to be the brick wall that's going to show the society that no amount of well-wishing and voting for Trump or voting for anybody is going to fix what these devils have done to the economy. With all the amount of trillions of dollars they've pulled out of the coffers of America, Babylon the Great, as it's known in the Bible. And when that is a reality, again, either sooner or later, the economy is going to collapse and you're going to see all hell breaking loose. Okay, and then these devils are going to let things burn up and they're going to let things steep for a while. And then eventually they're going to bring forward their solution. And what is their solution? Well, it's going to be the digital currency, the digital ID system tied to the social credit system, the new internet, right? Because again, they're going to take down this internet. They're going to lock it down. And they're either going to take it down and then bring it back up with the new version that's going to require you to log in and get an internet driver's license like you do over in China and Australia. And then eventually, it's going to lead to a requirement to have that digital ID implanted into you, and hence making it a biometric ID, which Trump has said he's going to bring it to the market. And now that he has surrounded himself with his other puppets, namely Elon Musk, who is basically paving the way in the infrastructure for the beast system with the satellites that are going to be used to monitor all the mark of the beast, to the X platform that's going to be used to share your thoughts with other people, right? And then the Neuralink chip, which is going to fulfill the mark of the beast that's going to go into the head. See, these devils aren't slick. But one thing I wanted to note is that besides Trump being for Amalek, these so-called Israelis, he's going to bring back the Noahide laws. And again, if you don't know what the Noahide laws are, they're basically these Israelis want to take the whole world under a new type of law, which really isn't a new type of law. It is the laws that Noah gave to his 3 sons, right? Hence the Noahide laws. And these laws, they're pretty draconian, okay? They go through a couple of things that would condemn you and ultimately cause you to be put to death, okay? And what are some of the things that they're talking about that could put you to death? Well, idol worshiping. And what is idol worshiping? Well, it's believing in the so-called Messiah, right? The Jesus Christ. That is considered idolatry to these Israeli devils. But let's go ahead and watch this.
Check out this rabbi's prayer at one of Trump's rallies.
May we move forward together seeking to build a future that reflects the will of God and his values based on the 7 Noahide laws that will unite us all together. Amen.
If you break one of the Noahide laws, it's punishable by capital punishment. Want to know the first law? Idolatry. You know what they consider idolatry to be? Acknowledging Jesus. They also have given him a ton of awards, call him the Prince of Peace. They gave him like a Torah crown. Although they don't directly say it, they seem to think that he is the Messiah. Might be time for us to get ready. This is for entertainment purposes only, and these are strictly my opinion.
This is 2nd Ezra 16 and 67. Behold, God himself is the judge. Fear him, leave off from your sins, and forget your iniquities, to meddle no more with them forever. So shall God lead you forth and deliver you from all trouble. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you, and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols. And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision, and in reproach, and trodden under foot. And here's the point. For there shall be in every place, and in the next cities, a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. So you see, though Trump won, it really is the Israelites that are going to lose, right? Because, and when I say the Israelites, I'm talking about the 2/3 of Israel, right? The Israelites that are tied to the system, who depend on this false coming reality, right? That these devils are rising up against the world, right? Which eventually are going to go up against God himself. And the thing is that these devils are doing it in a slick manner that people really do think that Trump is the Messiah, that they think that that the Messiah has been reincarnated and it's actually Trump. And that's because Trump's a witch. Him and all the people behind him, those small hatters, they are pushing some strong delusions and witchcraft upon the people to make them believe a lie, right? By putting Trump out there, making him seem, they're humanizing him, making all these feel-good stories about him, right? Showing how he's gonna fix everything. People are really caught up, with him. I talk to certain people who really think this guy is gonna change everything around, that he's gonna drain the swamp, right? and they know, they know the corruption that he's involved in, but they don't see it. They don't see how Trump can deceive them like that, right? They think that Trump is playing some sort of 4D chess, and he's gonna backstab the Israelis and all this bullshit, man. But that isn't it. You see, Trump is simply their puppet. And now that he's in office, Nero is back, at the helm of Rome, and he's about to, play his fiddle while Rome burns, and he blames it on the Israelites, just like he did back when he was in Rome. Now, let's read this. This is 2 Corinthians 2:11. At least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So hopefully I was able to show you, Akim, the truth behind what's going on, right? Remember, after Hitler and the Nazi Party won their power there in the Weimar Republic, Germany, when he came into office, there was a small period of good times that the German people were able to get rid of all the debauchery and abominable culture that Amalek had brought into the Weimar Republic to destroy it. And that's what we're going to witness now. We're going to witness the proverbial book burnings, the rounding up of the dissidents, the people who ultimately pushed all the trans storybook, all the crazy culture people, right? All that stuff's going to get rounded up and basically done away with. And in doing so, just like the Nazi Party, how they created a false flag against themselves, and they burnt down their Capitol building called the Reichstag, right? Just look up the Reichstag fire, right? Which gave them dictatorial powers, which then brought in the crazy Nazi period that we all are taught about. We're going to have the same thing happen here. There's going to be some sort of false flag that's going to go against Trump and his cabinet, and they're going to blame it on the liberals and the crazy, woke people, right? Even maybe the shit that they posted on The Simpsons is going to probably play out. But whatever comes, it's going to ultimately give these devils full dictatorial powers, and then you're going to really see fireworks play. But either way, Akim, hopefully this video was edifying. Until next time, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahshai, Ba'ashem Rukah Bardash. Shalom.